Dr. Kasandra Scales is here from the Junior Fellow Advisory Council. Thank you so much for talking with us. I think there is a lot of fear for people looking for jobs, but the truth is there are actually a lot of choices. It's just a matter of finding them.
Right. I think as a fourth-year resident, your anxiety builds and when you get to the end of your training, because you are constantly thinking about, what am I going to do? Like, am I going to find the right job? Am I going to find the right location? What if it doesn't work out? And the truth is that there's so many things out there available for us in all different types of facets of medicine, which I did not realize at the time, just because you just don't know. You're so engrossed in your training process that you don't really think about those things. So once you get to the fourth year time frame, you're now constantly thinking about it and you don't know exactly where to go.
What are some of those options that people might not be thinking about that you didn't know about at the time?
So what I didn't realize, so I'm going into the practice of OBGYN, not as a specialist or a subspecialist, I should say. And what I didn't realize was the different types of practices that you can go into. So most of us automatically think of either academics or private practice, but really private practice is broken down into other different facets. So there's hospital-owned practices, there's academic practices, there's private practice, there's individual practices, and there's group practices. So there's a lot of different choices, and each one of them has their pros and cons. You just need to figure out what's going to work best for you.
And I know it's very helpful to be at the ACOG meeting because of the career fair.
Absolutely. So last year, as a third-year resident, I came to the annual clinical meeting and I went straight to the career fair. And what was nice about that is that you do have those different types of practices represented. And talking to those representatives was really useful in terms of trying to figure out what I was looking for in the type of job. I didn't want to limit myself too early because you don't know. Like, you don't know what you're going to like at the end of the day. So being able to talk to those people, getting more information about what their practices are doing, what their groups are looking for, helped me to really kind of start to formalize in my mind as I approach the fourth year how I go about putting out my application for it and what to look for.
And then beyond the meeting, there really truly is a way to stay connected to find out about careers.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I found useful while I was here was to give my contact information to those groups, and then they followed up with me afterwards. So a lot of email conversation, a lot of email dialogue based off of the connections that I made here, but also on the ACOG website, there is the ACOG's Career Connection. And so there you can upload your CV, you can fill out an application for each of the individual practices, and then they contact you directly from there. So you still have that dialogue, you still have the communication right from your home, even on your iPad if you'd like.
And then as a district officer, I know there's help on the state level for beginning the whole process, whether it's updating your CV or even writing your cover letter.
Yeah, so the nice thing about coming to district meetings is that sometimes we'll have what's called roundtables where you talk to people about financial planning, you talk to people about how do you find a job, what are the things that you look for people that are actually on the ground close to you. So the nice thing about that is that you have a good networking system that you can pull from that's local to you, in addition to using your network and resources on the state or district level.
Okay, having gone through this process successfully, what is your best piece of advice?
So my best piece of advice is, one, to start early. The process takes a very long time. I liken it to online dating. So you send out your CV, is you sending out your profile. Then somebody has to respond back to you. And then that dialogue takes a couple of months to even get the interview process, and then for you to be able to decide. So you really need to start early so that you're able to kind of get through that process and not worrying about it towards the end of your residency training, not knowing if you're going to have a job or not. The other thing that I would say is to use your network and resources where you can and while you can. So one is you can start here at this meeting. Two is if you're out there going to any type of events where there are going to be professionals in your area that you're looking for, talking to those people. Don't be afraid to let people know that you need help, because you'd be surprised to know how many people are actually willing to help you.
Some great advice for people as they consider their future. Thank you so much, Dr. Scales.
Thank you.